Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Fragrance of the year. What a huge deal to be named the best men's fragrance release of the year, going up against every single one of your peers. Wow, huge. So as of when I'm filming this, a couple days ago were the Fragrance Foundation Awards, where they announced the awards for all of the fragrances of the year, the packaging of the year, advertising of the year, year of the year of the year of the year. You know the deal. And my fragrance, Terra Nova, was up for men's fragrance of the year in the prestige category. There's also a luxury category, which essentially luxury is more expensive and prestige is less expensive. If you just want to boil it down to like the simplest way of approaching that, I guess. And let me tell you guys, Terra Nova did not win. Dang it. That's okay. I am not bummed at all. I'm just happy to be there, or was happy to be there. Honestly, huge surprise that the fragrance even made it that far, because there were, I think, 96 submissions. Basically, every large fragrance release of the year they put in for this award. And to make it to the very final of the whole thing and basically beat 90 fragrances that were submitted from huge companies, I'll freaking take it. But by the way, before we go any further, and if you are interested in Terra Nova or any of the other fragrances I creatively directed, Blue Ridge, Jet Black, Enigma, you can find them in every fragrance outlet or Perfumania in the United States, or you can find it linked below, or you can use the code GENTS, GENTS, CENTS for 20% off. Also, pause the video now if you want some codes to other websites: Lucky Scent, Twisted Lily, Soul Avant-Garde, Max Aroma. Save yourself anywhere between 10 and 20% on those websites using these codes. Or, I know, Triple Traders. They got a boatload of clones. You can use the code GENTS there for 10% off. Anyway, back to what we're talking about here. Fragrance of the year for 2023, the winner was this, Terre d'Hermès Eau Givre, which I am not upset about. I love this stuff. Smells awesome. But it did get me thinking. Over the past decade, for the Fragrance Foundation Awards, what were the winners, prestige and luxury? And which were the best winners, in my opinion, and the abso-freaking-lutely worst? And trust me, friends, some of them are rough. So that's what we're going over today. Over the past decade, the worst and the best winners for Fragrance of the Year. In case you're unaware of the Fragrance Foundation Awards, it's basically like the Oscars for fragrances. It's a big deal. They have it at the Lincoln Center up in New York City. Big presentation, celebrities show up to it. They basically do an award show for all the stuff I talked about. Fragrance of the Year, packaging of the year, all that stuff. So I want to go over who the winners were here, and you keep track as well as we go through each year, and you decide if you think it was a really good winner or a bad winner, and let me know in the comments your overall feelings. So we're going to tackle 2023 first really quickly, the awards that just happened. And do keep in mind that each year's awards are for the previous year's fragrances. So the 2023 awards, obviously, those are for fragrances that came out in 2022. The 2022 awards are for the fragrances that came out in 2021, and so on. So Eau Givre won for prestige, like I said. I'm so excited for you, Hermes. Seriously, I'm really happy for you. And then in the luxury category, Tom Ford Noir Extreme won, the Parfum version of Noir Extreme. And that's a good fragrance as well, so I'm not gonna argue that, but one thing I do want you to keep track of here is how many times the exact same brands win over and over and over and over and over again. That really jumped out and caught my attention to the point where I was like, what's going on here? So the other fragrances that came out that were potential winners for Fragrance of the Year, in my opinion, for the 2023 awards, would have been Gentleman Reserve Privé, pretty big release, The Most Wanted Parfum, Le Beau Le Parfum, Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, and Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Coral Fantasy. But I'm not going to argue with 2023. I think both those fragrances really solid, and I got no problems with the winners there. Now let's bounce back to 2022. The winner for Prestige, H24 Eau de Toilette by Hermes, of course. So Hermes has won 2 years in a row. And then the luxury winner was Dior Sauvage Elixir. Now, I'm not a big fan of H24 Eau de Toilette, so I don't really like this one as the winner, but I do appreciate that it starts a new line for a house that's very prestigious, and that it starts its own fragrance DNA. So if you want to give it points for that, I'm not going to argue that. Some of the fragrances that came out that could have won that year: Light Blue Forever from Dolce & Gabbana, Stronger With You Absolutely, Invictus Victory, La Nuit de L'Homme Blue Electrique, Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal, and Luna Rossa Ocean. Now, for me, my personal taste, I probably would have gone Stronger With You Absolutely, possibly La Nuit Blue Electrique, had it not just been unceremoniously removed from the market in the US like 2 months after it came out, which still to this day just Or even Light Blue Forever. I would have taken that over age 24. And you may think, kind of like I just said, that they're giving extra points, bonus points, for it starting a new line, for it doing something a bit different. But I think as we go on, you'll see that's not the case at all. They don't really seem to give bonus points for that a bit. So anyway, those are your winners for 2022. I don't love age 24, but this one I don't think is that bad. It's not too egregious or anything. So we go to 2021. The winner for Prestige, Dior Homme 2020. The winner for Luxury, Zegna Roman Wood. And very interesting to see Zegna here. This is the only appearance that they make, and it's kind of an interesting choice. Roman Wood is a fragrance that's not necessarily trashed on, but it's not a fragrance that has like a bunch of love behind it either. At the time when this was done, Dior Homme 2020, maybe I would have said no. As time has gone on, I like it a lot more. But it did win over Le Mal de Parfum, Acqua di Gio Profondo, Eros Eau de Parfum, L'Homme Ideal Extreme, and 1 Million Parfum. I think for me personally, I probably would have gone Le Mal de Parfum that year, or Acqua di Gio Profondo, just because I'm a fanboy. So that doesn't really count. But Le Mal de Parfum, I really dig. I think that they modernized that fragrance in a great way. Dior Homme 2020 though, I like a lot. So this is another one that maybe I wouldn't have gone with that one, but I can see why they would have gone with that one. 2020, and this I think is one of the worst. I think this is just not good, okay? It's pretty bad. They chose Varvatos X NJ, Varvatos Nick Jonas Silver as the Prestige Fragrance of the Year, which I find very questionable. And then for Luxury, it was Dior Sauvage Parfum. Yeah. Other options that they could have gone with here: Explorer from Montblanc, Toy Boy, Stronger With You Intensely, Armani Code Absolute, Le Beau from Jean Paul Gaultier, Born in Roma from Valentino, Bad Boy from Herrera, and Pulse of the Night from Issey Miyake. So I think honestly, you could have picked any of those and it would have been better than JBXNJ Silver. I mean, that's just frankly a terrible choice in my opinion. Pulse of the Night is just infinitely better, just not even in the same universe, but maybe you would say, oh, it's not got wide enough distribution. But if you're gonna say that, then go with Code Absolute. Code Absolute is absolutely killer. Go with Toy Boy and give it points for being something very different, very unique. Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau, with that kind of tropical twist that it has, much more interesting than JBXNJ Silver. So I think 2020 easily one of the worst men's fragrance of the year over the past decade, or possibly ever. And then we swing back to 2019. The winner for Prestige, Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. A winner for Luxury, Bleu de Chanel Parfum. So yeah, Sauvage again. And this one is another one that I think is not very good. It's just one of those deals where you can tell at this point that they're not actually giving points for something being more unique, right? Something being more interesting, that's possibly pushing the boundaries even a little bit. They're not giving a crap about that. Because Sauvage Eau de Parfum, it's not a bad fragrance, don't get me wrong, but it's just a tweak and a slight evolution of Sauvage Eau de Toilette, right? So anyway, that year had Y Eau de Parfum. It had Wanted by Night, 1 Million Lucky, Gentleman, Eau de Parfum, Eros Flame, The Scent Private Accord, Luna Rosa Black. For me personally, I think you go Luna Rosa Black, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, 1 Million Lucky, or Y Eau de Parfum. Any of those I think are superior to Sauvage Eau de Parfum. But, you know, is what it is. 2018, the winner, Prestige, Y Eau de Toilette from Yves Saint Laurent. The winner, Luxury, Oud Mineral from Tom Ford. And get ready to see just a boatload Tom Ford. So YSL comes out with their new line. Y, obviously going up against the blue fragrances of the world, and they win for a fragrance of the year here. Interestingly enough, Y Eau de Toilette gets discontinued and reformulated later on. At the time, obviously nobody knew that, but well, it didn't really get discontinued, did it? That version got discontinued and then reformulated and released, but it's still Y Eau de Toilette, right? Anyway, that year there was Light Blue Intense from Dolce & Gabbana, Prada L'Homme Intense, the Stronger With You line started off. That year, Gucci Guilty Absolute, Artisan Pure from Varvatos, Acqua di Gio Profumo, the special blend, I should say, Pure Excess, and Coach for Men all came out that year. I would have given it to Prada L'Homme Intense myself, or maybe Light Blue Intense, or Light Blue Eau Intense. But again, if you wanted to go for something more interesting or unique, you would probably hit Guilty Absolute. Not that that was like the biggest crowd pleaser, but you know. But I don't think that's one of the worst of the bunch of the last decade. 2017, I do think this is is one of the worst. This is not very good. Varvatos Artisan Blue won as Fragrance of the Year for Prestige. For luxury, it was Tom Ford, Vert d'Encens. So let me hit you with some of the fragrances that came out this year that they chose Varvatos Artisan Blue over, which frankly, Artisan Blue smells like a take on a Tom Ford fragrance, Mandarino di Amalfi. So in a way, it's like Tom Ford won twice that year. So what did Varvatos Artisan Blue beat out? Well, it beat out Prada L'Homme, L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum from Guerlain, Valentino Uomo Intense, Paco Rabanne 1 Million Privé, Armani Code Profumo, Issey Miyake, Noir Ombre, Ferragamo Uomo, YSL L'Homme Ultime, and the original Invictus Aqua. That is terrible. That is just truly awful. Not to take shots at Varvatos or anything. It's a fine release, assuming you pick it up at discounters for a pretty good price. But yeah, I think it loses head-to-head against every single one of those other releases. So I think 2017, that probably out of the last decade is the worst of the worst. That's just rough. 2016, the winner for Prestige, Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, which means that every single Dior Sauvage release outside of the very cool spray has one fragrance of the year in the year that it came out. Sauvage Eau de Toilette, fragrance of the year. Eau de Parfum, fragrance of the year. Parfum, fragrance of the year. Elixir, fragrance of the year. Whatever they come out with next, fragrance of the year. And then luxury, the winner was Tom Ford, Venetian Bergamot. Now, this year, Sauvage beat out Acqua di Gio Profumo, Spice Bomb Extreme, the one Eau de Parfum, Jean Paul Gaultier Ultramall, Tom Ford Noir Extreme, CH Privé, and Mugler's Ultra Zest. Now, here's the deal with this one. For me, would I choose Sauvage EDT over every single one of those other releases? Probably not, if we're just talking about my own personal taste. But if we're talking about the fragrance that truly made the biggest impact, it's easily Sauvage, far and away. So believe it or not, I think that might be the best of the past decade. I think that's a great call as Fragrance of the Year, just because of how big it is. Although you could argue if you're just going off personal taste, well, then it would be something different. But I think that's a good call, a good choice. 2015, Dior Homme Eau is the winner for the prestige side of things. And then Tom Ford Mandarino di Amalfi wins for luxury. Now, Dior Homme Eau is a wonderful fragrance. It's discontinued now, has been discontinued for a while. I don't feel like that should be Fragrance of the Year for me personally. That year it beat out Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum, Dior Homme Parfum, Bulgari Man in Black, Fahrenheit Le Parfum, Valentino Uomo, Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche, Aqua Amara from Bulgari, Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche, and L'Homme Ideal, the first one, the Eau de Toilette. So, yeah. This is one of those deals where I think if you're going to give Sauvage every year Fragrance of the Year, then why would you not give Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum Fragrance of the Year over Dior Homme Eau? And if you want to keep it in the Dior Homme lineup, Dior Homme Parfum was a better release than Dior Homme Eau, even though Dior Homme Eau, again, is wonderful. Love this stuff. I just think that's not one of the worst. It's not egregious, but I would have gone with something different. We're coming in close to the end of the last decade here. 2014, the winner was Ralph Lauren Polo Red. And then for luxury, it was Tom Ford, surprise, Rive d'Ombre. Now, this is another one that I think is not a great choice for Fragrance of the Year, but not one of the worst. So this one beat out Jazz Club from Maison Martin Margiela, Invictus, the original from Paco Rabanne, Bentley from Men Intense, Versace, Oud Noir, Gucci Guilty Black, Dior Homme Cologne, Luna Rossa Extreme, 1 Million Intense, and Bulgari Man Extreme. So really not like the murderer's row of fragrances there. I mean, some of them are very solid, but a lot of those are like, they're good, but would you consider them like Fragrance of the Year material? Probably not. This one, I would have gone Invictus. I'm not a huge fan of Paco Rabanne Invictus, but it's one of those deals where you look at the two fragrances side by side. Paco Rabanne Invictus, Polo Red. Which of those two had a bigger impact? Easily Invictus. 2013, the winner for Prestige, Tom Ford Noir, Eau de Parfum. The winner for luxury, Acqua di Parma, Colonia Intensa Oud. And this year, Tom Ford beat out Versace Eros, Allure Homme Eau Extreme, Spice Bomb, Luna Rossa, Acqua di Gio Essenza, the 2012 release of Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme, Chopard Oud Malaki, Dior Homme Sport 2012, and La Nuit Frozen Cologne. And this is another time where I've got to go against them and say I would have gone Versace Eros or Spice Bomb or Acqua di Gio Essenza, Allure Homme Eau Extreme. I think any of those beat Noir Eau de Parfum. Now I know there are fans out there of Noir Eau de Parfum that really love the stuff. For me, I don't really dig it that much. I do appreciate that it's quite different from most other designer releases, but we've already established that that's not really a big criteria for this. Otherwise, JVX and J Silver is not going to win Fragrance of the Year. Sauvage Eau de Parfum is not going to win Fragrance of the Year. Artisan Blue, not going to win Fragrance of the Year, right? So yeah, I would have gone Eros, Spice Bomb, Allure Eau Extreme. I would have gone even Dior Homme Sport, probably. Okay, so that's the last decade. You got to let me know which decade you think is the most egregiously wrong and which ones you do agree with the most. Also, just going back a little bit, Tom Ford also won luxury in 2012 and 2011, and somehow Varvatos Star USA won 2012's Prestige Fragrance of the Year, and that fragrance is trash. Varvatos Star USA is not good. Pretty quickly after it came out, it was at TJ Maxx and Ross's, and then it was discontinued not long after that because it's, again, just not very good. And that one beat Pure Havane, Mont Blanc Legend, Dior Homme, Aqua Fahrenheit, and 212 VIP. So I would love to have been on the judging panel where people were like, oh, Varvatos Star USA, so much better than Pure Havane, Aqua Fahrenheit, Dior Homme. Just like, what is going on here? So with everything that we went over here today, there were 22 winners. So we actually did 11 years, not including 2012, 2011. That's 22 winners, so 11 per category. And of those potential winners, Tom Ford won 7, Dior won 6, Hermes and Varvatos each won 2. And then we had Ralph Lauren, YSL, Zegna, Acqua di Parma, and Chanel with 1 victory each. So you have it very heavily weighted toward basically Tom Ford and Dior, and then a smattering of other brands kind of underneath those. And some of these, like I said, I do find very questionable. The Varvatos wins all 3, frankly. They beat fragrances that are just way better, way better. And Chanel gets very little love outside of Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Yeah, it's interesting. So like I said, guys, down there in the comments, let me know which year you thought they just nailed it. You think those were definitely the winners far and away, and which year you think it was just rough. Not good. And these are not the consumer choice fragrances. They do have a consumer's choice where people can actually go and vote on which one they think should win. Now, that's not these. Maybe we'll tackle that in a future video, but you got nobody to blame for those except yourself. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Again, thank you to the Fragrance Foundation for showing me some love, showing this Terra Nova some love. Congratulations to Christine Nagel and Hermes for this bad boy. Absolutely deserves it. Stuff is sick. It's sick. Really, though. Freaking awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm out of here. Stay safe out there. See you in another day with another video. See you later.